When it comes to being there for people, we all have our own way of doing it. And according to Arreqqana philosophy, there are really two profound ways we tend to show up for others, either as a spirit listener or as a space holder. So today, we're going to dive into what that means and help you discover your own sacred role. So let's just start with a really simple but powerful question. Picture this. A friend comes to you and they're really in pain. What's your first gut reaction? Do you lean in, wanting to hear every detail to feel what they're feeling? Or is your instinct to just be there, to create this solid, calming presence for them to fall back on? Really think about that, because your answer is the key to this whole thing. And that gut reaction, well, it really points to one of two core ways of being. On one side, you have this incredibly intuitive, feeling-based connection. It's this deep urge to listen not just to the words, but to what's underneath them. And on the other side, you've got this response that's all about a stable, grounding presence. It's the desire to be a safe harbor in a storm. See the difference? One feels with them, the other holds for them. Now, this isn't just a simple personality quiz, In Arreqqana philosophy, these are actually called soul archetypes. Think of it like a map for understanding the unique, powerful way you offer support to the world. And from this philosophy, two main archetypes really come to the forefront: the spirit listener and the space holder. Just listen to those names. They're so beautiful, right? They really paint a picture. One sounds like movement, like feeling, while the other feels more like stability and structure. Okay, so first up, let's really dive into the spirit listener. The source material calls them the wind that feels. I love that. It brings up this image of something reflective, fluid, and something you can't see, but you can absolutely feel. And this quote from the source material just captures it perfectly. You are one who hears what is not said. That's it. That is the absolute core of the spirit listener. It's never just about the words. It's about the energy, the emotion, the real truth humming just beneath the surface. So what's their special power? Well, their core gift is something called soul intuition. It's that uncanny ability to just know what someone is feeling, even if they're not saying it. But like anything, there's a flip side. The shadow of this gift is overabsorption. It's so easy for them to take on other people's emotions, which can be draining. And this all leads to their sacred role, to be a mirror of the heart. They reflect a person's inner world back to them, but with so much empathy and clarity. All right, now let's shift gears and look at our second archetype, the space holder. This one is called the guardian of the field. And right away, you can feel that energy shift, can't you? We're moving from that fluid, flowing wind to something solid, rooted, and incredibly protective. And the quote that defines this archetype is just, wow. You are grounding, constant, and safe. Just pause and think about what a profound gift that is to give someone. I mean, in a world that feels so chaotic a lot of the time, being the calm in someone else's storm, that's an incredible act of service. It's a really quiet but immense power. So for the space holder, their gift is what's called spiritual rooting. It's this unshakable presence that makes people feel secure. But the shadow side of being that rock for everyone, well, it's emotional fatigue. It takes a ton of energy to hold so much for others. And that's why their sacred role is so important. They are the guardian of the field. They create and protect the space where other people feel safe enough to be truly vulnerable. Okay, so we've got these two really powerful, really different archetypes. But let's get practical. How do these energies actually show up in real life? Like, how can you tell them apart? Here's a good way to think about it. The spirit listener is like a sacred mirror, or maybe an invisible antenna. They're constantly reflecting and receiving signals. The space holder, on the other hand, is like a grounding stone in your pocket, or a heavy, calming blanket. They provide stability. See the difference? One is all about resonance, the other is all about rootedness. So as you're listening, which one feels more like you? But wait a second. What if you're sitting there thinking, I feel a little bit of both? Well, you're not alone. The Arreqqana philosophy totally has a place for that. It's a third archetype called the balanced bridge. I love how the source material describes it. When water meets mountain. What a beautiful image of two powerful forces coming together. So who is this balanced bridge? It's someone who can move fluidly between listening and holding. They just have this amazing, innate sense of what a person needs in any given moment. Sometimes they need to be the mirror, and sometimes they need to be the stone. It makes them incredibly versatile. Their gift, as you can probably guess, is sacred versatility. But their shadow is also unique. It's this specific kind of burnout that comes from dual holding. Imagine trying to manage all that intuitive input while also providing that grounding output. It's a lot. And their sacred role? Well, it's to be the bridge itself. They connect people, they connect energies, they connect worlds. You often find them as the anchors of a community. Okay, so we've gone through these three beautiful archetypes, but so what? Why does any of this actually matter? Well, finding your sacred role isn't just about sticking a label on yourself. It's about deeply understanding your unique gift, your unique contribution to the world around you. So if you take away anything from this, let it be these three things. First, self-compassion. Please honor your gifts, but also honor your limits. Second, learn to avoid burnout by recognizing your own shadow tendencies. And finally, honor others. Appreciate the unique way they show up instead of wishing they were more like you. We need both the listeners and the holders. And that really brings us to our final thought for today. As you've been listening, which of these energies, which resonance really calls to you? Do you feel like the mirror, the stone, or maybe the bridge that connects them? And maybe the most important question of all is, how can you start to truly honor that sacred role in your life? Maybe even starting today.